Right then, hello there. Do a quick little check. Microphone seems to be working. Game capture's working. Background music all seems to be fine. Right then. Hello there. Hey there, what's the Sigma? How are you doing, mate? Right. So, we are back for a little bit more Space Engineers 2 while we wait for the new VS 2.2 update to arrive, which is hopefully going to be sometime very soon. Now, one of the things they've mentioned about the VS 2.2 update is for a lot of the features of it to work with the game, you're going to have to start a new save file. So, at some point, I am probably going to have to copy and paste everything I've built here and repaste it into a new game and sort of start a new game, a new save file from there, essentially. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to that stage. For now, we will just carry on building in this save file, and we'll see how far we get. Because yeah, they've mentioned in in some of the updates and Marek's dev diaries and things that the next update to 2.2 is going to be a bit of an overhaul. So apparently it requires fresh saves to work, which means I'm not starting a fresh save in survival over again. I will just copy and paste this, that, and that into a new world, and then we'll set the new world to survival settings and carry on like nothing ever happened. But yeah, my plan for this evening is to do a couple of hours carrying on building up this this sort of hangar area over here for what is eventually going to be some mech building workshops when we get my beloved rotors and pistons eventually, and hopefully hinges not too long after that. And yeah, we'll just carry on doing this, and then I'm going to do this for about 3 hours tonight is the plan. But I've also been getting very much back into Elite Dangerous, so my plan is to stream a bit of this, have a little break to get myself a cup of tea and a bit of food, and then come back for a few hours of Elite Dangerous later this evening. But we'll do a good 3 or so hours of building in Space Engineers 2 before we get to that point. So, last time I was having some internet issues and it all got cut off before I finished what I was doing with this hangar, so we're going to finish off with this one first. It is mostly, I think, just iron for the moment. It's all iron that I need to go and grab, so let's go and grab that mining ship, because I put that back on charge, I think. And is that one over there? Or at least put him back over here. Did I put you back on charge? Apparently I did. Oh, and apparently VS 2.2 is bringing with it toolbar actions, supposedly, so... Oh, it's not charged, that's why. Apparently 2.2 is bringing with it some toolbar actions, so we won't have to keep going in and out of the control panel every time that we want to change something or turn something on and off. But we will bring this over here. And has it got any iron in it? No, it hasn't. Have I got any iron at all in storage? Oh, hello, Arcanate Empire. How are you doing, mate? How are you this evening? We have no iron. Right, okay. We need to go and get some iron first things first. Right, where was the new iron resource? It was over there, wasn't it? Wasn't any other ones knocking around? No, it was that one over there, wasn't it? As we moved bases a little bit. Right, anyway. Get some iron. We'll try and finish off this hangar, and then... I'm debating putting some kind of material production over by these warehouses, by these building hangars, so that I can grab all the parts I need for the mechs straight from it. Might as well have some kind of production facilities. Hey, what's that, Arcanade? Not too bad, bit knackered from the day job, otherwise fine. I'm good, I'm alright. I've been a bit under the weather the last week or so, but I'm basically back to normal now. I've still got a tiny bit of a lingering cough, which is doing my head in, but health-wise I'm alright again, which is why I'm jumping back into the streaming again this week, because I've kind of missed out on stuff over the last 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm planning to do a bit of SE2 for a couple of hours if my internet connection wants to hold itself together. We'll see if it comes back. YouTube, what are you doing, YouTube? Oh, you're back again. There we go. So yeah, before YouTube had a little bit of a moment there. I was saying I want to do a bit of SE2 building. Try and get a bit more of these warehouses prepped and ready to go for when I finally get my hands on some mechanical blocks. But I've also been really getting back into Elite Dangerous, so I'm going to stream a little bit of that later this evening as well, as I roam the galaxy and catch up with all the things that have been going on in Elite Dangerous over the last few years that I've kind of missed out on. Yeah, I need to grab a big pile of iron out of here, and we can do some more welding back at the base. So I can get about 40,000 kilos, I think, into this ship before it starts getting a bit sketchy. So what's that? That's 22. Yeah, I cannot wait for the VS 2.2 update. Really hope we get some rotors and pistons in some kind of usable state. Really like to at least begin to start thinking about mech design in Space Engineers 2. Because I can play around with the block all day long, but without being able to stick subgrids together in strange ways, there's only so far I can really get with the design work without it just being a guessing game. But hopefully those prayers will be answered soon enough. Pardon me. Let's take this whopping great lump of iron back to base, and we can carry on welding up one of these hangars. I've been a bit ill the last few weeks. I've not really been keeping up to date with the latest news with SE2. I need to go and have a look at the latest dev diaries to see what they've been saying about it. But all I'm really bothered about right now is those mechanical blocks. I want some rotors to play with. really want some rotors to play with. I'm dying to see if the damage limiting system in SE2 is going to make as much of a difference to building robots as I hope it is. Because with that 20 meter a second damage limiter, you'll be able to be a little bit rougher with the mechs. They won't feel so much like they're made out of cardboard or paper mache. Right, let's get you down safely. And yeah, once we get some kind of usable rotors and things, I can start building ships the way I like to build ships, with all kinds of subgrids and flappy wings and tool arms and stuff like that. I never feel very inspired when I'm just building a single grid type thing. If I can't put subgrids on it, it's just not fun. Hey, we can start getting all of this welded up. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Area welders. I can't wait to see what they're like. And give them a test. It is a little bit dull welding up all these intricate things one single block at a time. So, is there any particular aspect of the latest update that anyone else is excited about? Feel free to drop it in the chat. Like I said, I'm most excited for the mechanical stuff. And then I think it's the S3 we're getting water eventually. That will be super interesting. A, to see how much my graphics card screams in pain trying to render all the water. And B, seeing how subgrids and mechanical stuff interact with the water physics. That's what I'm really curious about. I want to know whether I'll be able to make things that can swim. Because I can make things that can walk mechanically in SE1. And I'll probably be able to do mechanical walking in SE2 as well. I'm curious, will the water physics allow for mechanical swimming? As in, not just sticking some thrusters on the back of it and pushing forwards, I mean the actual side-to-side swimming motion generating forward momentum. Because I know they're planning to put like a kind of pressurization sort of system in with the water. I've seen the testing they've done with that, with a dam wall with a hole at the top and a hole at the bottom, and the hole at the bottom is pumping out water at a higher pressure. I wonder if they're working on any other kind of water-based physics that will allow for weird stuff like that. If not, I'll just have to stick water thrusters on it, because that's apparently going to be a thing as well. Ooh, that frame rate chums when I jump into there. Right, that's a little bit more breathing. Nearly done over here. You know what? Can I? Oh, I still can't hide the icons yet. I hope that gets looked at in the new update as well, being able to hide all the signals. Yeah, that's not too bad. So we're basically just going to make a big version of this. So I'm going to use that as a kind of blueprint. And just copy all those details for the moment. And then we can make this one, give it its own flair, a little bit of maybe unique design. Oh, my Kingdom 4 and area welder. Can't wait to get my hands on one of them. I also wonder if they'll make any updates to the mod SDK, so I can finally try and get some flame effect on this helmet. Oh, what's that? Arcane, what are you saying? The water is the one thing you've been longing for. You want your Achaemenid surface navy. You need Shamarans to roam freely. Yeah, it would be pretty cool. Well, I imagine with SE2 we're going to see a lot more naval stuff. Because there's a whole, like, naval community in SE1, but it all literally revolves around having that water mod. And complementary mods that work with it. So it's a little bit more niche, whereas I reckon there's the potential to have, like, quite a big sort of public naval community in SE2 if it's going to be like a main feature of the vanilla game. That would be pretty cool. I've done my own little bit of experimenting with the water physics and stuff that's in the game already with the debug menu. Nah, it's still a work in progress. If you start playing around with the debug water settings, some stuff floats, some stuff doesn't. It's kind of hit and miss what does. And so far, grid physics do not like water interacting with gyroscopes. As soon as you slap a gyroscope on any floating grid, it will sink like a stone, which is a little bit annoying. Because you can kind of make rudimentary boats at the moment in the with the debug menu, but you can't make anything that turns. You can put thrusters on them. Some of the thrusters actually float, but the gyroscope physics, no. Water does not like the gyro physics yet, so I imagine that is something that's getting worked on in the background. Oh, hello, Fantasia. Hey, I suggested that you try the less collision damage mod for SE1. Oh, yes, you did, and I haven't tried it. I will have to make a note of that. I mean, it's definitely worth something. It's definitely something worth trying out. But I really like the fact that it's going to be a vanilla feature in SE2 rather than something that has to be modded in because the blocks are naturally built like a piece of paper. But yeah, I will definitely go and check out that mod at some stage. Because that is the big issue with doing robots in SE1, is they are so fragile. Even though they're apparently made out of steel, slight bump and they just smash to pieces. So I assume that mod just sort of adjusts the damage ratings or something. Because I wish they'd rebalance the way damage works in SE1 a little bit. Just make the blocks stronger versus voxels and versus themselves. And then you can balance the weapon damage however you like based off that. But it's the basic collisions between blocks and voxels, well, grids and voxels and grids that's the issue. Like the slightest little touch and bam, all falls to pieces. Right, so that's those kind of structural support type things up there. Let's get a little bit of power for a second. Right, that's a little bit of power. Let's build those lighting rigs in the roof. Get them sorted out. Because yeah, we're going to need a terminal for what is going to end up being the piston control platform thing. We're going to need a little bit of power. We're going to need a source of cargo and stuff for building. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we need to put into this building. I do hope we get more shapes of these decorative blocks. I really hope, really hope we get like the full range. Because the decorative blocks are cool, but we've literally only got 4 of them. I want all these other shapes in that size. That's my hope for the decorative blocks anyway. Oh, hey, Aya. How are you doing, man? I'm good. Thought we'd get back into my Fortress world and do a little bit more before I inevitably have to cut and paste the entire thing into a new save game anyway. I was debating streaming some other building in SE2, but I thought, you know what, I'll just carry on with this. And then when it gets to 2.2 time, I'm just gonna copy and paste the whole thing into a new save game. Then put it back in survival mode and go from there. You know what's that, man? Bit stressed today for some reason, but overall good. No worries, man. Stress can catch up on you from all sorts of places. Sometimes it gives you subconscious stress that you're not even really aware of, but I'll be doing okay, man. So yeah, I'm going to stream a few hours of tinkering with this base and getting this set up in time for 2.2. And then later this evening, I'm probably going to do a little bit more Elite Dangerous, because I'm still on a bit of an Elite Dangerous kick. I've been quite enjoying playing it, and I'm going to play it after I'm done with this stream anyway, so I might as well stream it while I'm playing it. I've still got a whole bunch of stuff I need to unlock in Elite Dangerous. Pretty much all the new engineers and stuff. Oh, I cannot wait for that area welder. Oop, I've moved on to the other side, that's why I got myself confused. Yeah, I cannot wait for that area welder, so I don't have to keep doing these things one at a time. I want to see how it works, actually. It's been like clips and things, but I've not actually really seen how the actual mechanics of the area welder are going to work. What's that? I'm getting close to your welded PCU without an area welder. What am I on? I am on... Oh yeah, I've actually done quite a bit, haven't I? What's that? 148,000 out of 400,000. Yeah, I hope we get a PCU limit upgrade with 2.2. Because I was planning to make quite an extensive base, and with all the in-game assets taking up that, all the game-spawned assets taking up that PCU limit as well, I'm not going to be able to build as much as I wanted. I'm starting to think anyway. Yeah, I always forget about the PCU limit that SE2 has at the moment. I used to be really good with PCU limits when I was on Xbox, and then I got a half decent gaming PC, and haven't really worried about them since. Well, since I've been playing SE1, I never really worry about PCU limits on SE1. But yeah, we're about a third of the way through it. It should still allow me to build a decent amount of stuff. What's that? Fan says, what do I think of backpack crafting? Feel like it's too advanced of a tech for pretty down-to-earth stuff we've seen in SE1. Feels too much like No Man's Sky for me. I have mixed feelings about it. Because I like the step-by-step nature of the crafting in SE1, where you have to mine the resources, refine the resources, produce the materials, pick up the materials and weld the materials. There's a lot of survival crafting games out there, particularly the Unity engine based ones, where it's literally pick a block, place it down, if you've got the stuff in your inventory, bam, it magically appears, and I hate that in crafting games. The thing I like about SE1 is you can build the structure of the thing, and then you have to get the parts to weld the thing up, and if you don't have the parts you have to go and get them. I kind of feel like the backpack building sort of takes a step out of that. Like I said, I've still got mixed feelings about it. It does make basic stuff a little bit easier. Like, you can't build advanced components from your backpack. You do have to go and get like an assembler and a refinery and stuff for some of those things, which I do like. Yeah, it's a little bit like magic backpack building. I suppose that's exactly what it is. But yeah, like I said, mixed feelings about it. Don't love it, don't particularly hate it. Yeah, I mean, well, like you say, it's meant to take a step out and make it more accessible. I suppose for the purposes of trying to get a broader audience into a weird niche building game like this, it does make sense. What I'd like possibly in the future, because we all know what Keen like with their with all of their world setting, particularly for SE1, is potentially have backpack building as a toggleable control in the world settings that you can turn off. Have it on by default easy mode. If you want a more survival experience, you can turn it off and have to fetch all your bits manually. I wouldn't be adverse to that. I'd probably use that mode myself, to be honest. But yeah, I do get it from an accessibility kind of angle. But like I said, it only really does the basic stuff. There's already a mod that turns it off. Well, there you go. A mod beat me to it. So there you go. To be honest, I'm not surprised that a mod has already got in there and done that. Yeah, if it could become like a world setting that you could turn on and off per game, then yeah, I reckon that'd be cool. Yeah, because like I said, I don't hate it, I don't love it at the same time. All it really means is just slightly fewer trips back to a storage container. Right, so we're nearly done. These lights. Next we can get some shelves in here, and I think I actually took a blueprint of the shelving units I was playing with. That's what I do miss. Are we back, internet connection? Yep, we're back again. Right. Yep, internet's back again. Sorry about that, the weather's a little bit messy this evening, so it might cut out here and there. What are you saying, Aya? You'll be interested to see how it feels when the full production chain is actually how it's meant to be. Also, when the game is in its final form and resources are how they want them. Yeah, because some of the production chain is still semi-functional and not particularly balanced yet. So yeah, that would be interesting to see how that's going to work out, because I do like the survival balance nature of Space Engineers. Like, most of my building worlds, when I'm just tinkering about in SE1, they are generally survival worlds, but with the creative tools turned on, so I can actually see how everything will consume fuel and power and things in real time. And I can't wait till I can get to that stage with SE2. That'll be nice. Internet, do you want to get your life together, please? You've been a bit all over the show this evening. You bouncing out again? Yeah? We chilling? Cool? Back in the green? Thank you. Yeah, because it will be much better once all the, like you say, once all the production blocks are fully functional and doing what they're supposed to. It'd be much easier to gauge how all the crafting to building will actually work. Because currently, doing it all by hand with what we've got at the moment, the resource consumption is still through the roof. I still think all these blocks are taking up way too much iron, way too many resources compared to SE1. Crap. I'm not going to be able to reach that roof up here. I forgot about that. I haven't put a seat anywhere down here. I'm going to die. Yeah, also, the rate your health drains when you run out of power, jeez. Terrifyingly quick. Oof, that was close. Right, I need to put a control seat on that other grid, I think. So I don't have to run all the way back here every time. Let's also get a bit of health and maybe put the survival kit. Okay. Interesting. I keep forgetting to look at what those things in Tron were actually called and just name it after that. Right, silicon, where is the silicon? It's directly below me. Right, invisible rocks. We're going to have to cut them out of the way first. Come on. Where are you? I'm hearing that. I can feel you. There's one. Any more invisible rocks? I know there's at least one more here somewhere, I think. Are we all good on invisible rocks? Is it just that one? Right in the middle? Yeah, okay, it might just be that one. Let's get some more silicon. Yeah, I to start building mechs in this game. I really hope we get more shapes of those tiny little 25cm decorative blocks, because you'll be able to get such nice detailing for things like Gundams and anime-style robots if we get those detail blocks with a better range of shapes. Because I've had a little go at trying to do some detailed kind of robot faces with the basic detail blocks we've got, but there's only so much you can do with 45-degree angles. Sometimes you do need some other angles to play with. Well, I hope they give us some more decorative block options in the near future. What are we on? Like 10,000, 11,000 silicon? Yeah, you know what? That'll do for now. That'll do. We'll take that back. We'll do that battery and maybe a few more windows. It is a bit slow and chuggy. It's got that much ore in it. Wonderful. Oh, it must be a bit of a hefty update. Apparently. Give me a second. Apparently I didn't actually save this as episode 11. It's still saying episode 10 when it saves. There we go. Just for posterity. Yeah, it must be a bit of a big update coming then. If they're saying it's going to require new save games. What's that? I'm jumping out, need to get some food. It's good to have your streams back. See you soon. Oh, no worries, man. I'll be here for a few more hours, and then after I'm done here with SE2, I'm going to jump into some more Elite Dangerous for a few more hours after that. So yeah, I'll be here streaming on YouTube and Twitch for a while. So yeah, come back if you want to. But other than that, thanks for dropping by, dude. Enjoy your food. Right, let's get back over here. Yeah, I'm hoping we get some functional seats and desks and things at some point too, because I want to make that control tower there like an actual tower with desks and workstations that people could sit at. Oh, that was the wrong button. And currently the seats and tables are purely decorative. Kind of annoying having a decorative seat that you can't sit in, when there are control seats that we can sit in, but I imagine somebody's made a mod for that. Right, let's take a little bit of that. Hopefully that is enough. Do this battery up. There we go. Right, that battery can live there and charge this bit and sit there in a... what do we need? Silicon and nickel. Have we got any nickel back at the base? Oh, we need silicon and nickel for that one as well, I imagine. Yeah, let's go and quickly have a look. See if I've got any nickel. Do I have any of that lying around? Have I run out of nickel as well? Yup. Typical. No nickel? Ugh. Nah, we'll go get that later. I'm not too fussed about that at the minute. Hello. I don't know how to say that name, I'll butcher it. But, oh, hey, over on Twitch, how are you doing? Hey, have they fixed the problem with bouncing ships while drilling in the ground? They're still a little bit bouncy. I don't think they've addressed any of the major issues with it yet. I think that is all going to be coming with the next update, which is hopefully sometime relatively soon. Yeah, I don't think they fixed the bounciness issue. I've not really had much of an issue with it. I know the biggest issue I have drilling in the ground is these flipping rocks. Because once you've drilled them out and reloaded your game, it will reappear, but it will be invisible. So the texture doesn't reload, but the model does. But yeah, I think the ships are probably still maybe as bouncy. They're not too bad, to be honest. What do we need to do? We need to weld this up now. Yeah, hopefully the 2.2 update is going to resolve some of those issues. Because I'm hoping if they are planning to introduce subgrid mechanics that they've worked out some of those issues. Because I know grids don't, particularly ship grids, don't like it when you try and dock one dynamic grid to another in space or in atmosphere. It tends to go a bit crazy, so I'm hoping the subgrid physics gets sorted out. Or at least the grid interaction physics gets sorted out with this new update, and hopefully that'll resolve other knock-on things like tools and the ships being bouncy when they're digging and stuff like that. Because a lot of those issues are all kind of connected to the core mechanics of the game. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, you can access some of the water stuff through the debug menu at the moment. And you will notice that some blocks can float and other blocks can't. And then you will also notice the second the put a gyroscope on your floating grid, it will sink like a stone. So clearly the whatever physics are going on with the gyroscopes does not like interacting with the physics that control floating blocks. And I imagine it might be something to do with the overall, like, subgrid kind of physics. I'm not sure. There was that. When you was drilling in the ground, the ship was wiggling and dancing, dancing woogie boogie, so it was impossible to play. I think that might have been a tool shake kind of issue. I think that has been resolved. Also, regarding wiggling, there is a bit of an issue with conveying at the moment. So when the drills get full, they struggle to dump their inventory and they start tool shaking insanely. That's related to your inventories being too full and the game not knowing what to do with it. But the tool shake is generally a little bit calmer than it was. I mean, I was doing a bit of drilling earlier and it wasn't really a massive issue. I thought you picked up loads of iron. Oh, it's because it's not a connection point, is it? Oh yeah, because I had to weld that on to get the connection point for that side. That's the one. You are missing something. Oh yeah, so I'm missing that in there. That is the connection points for that. There we go. And that box needs nickel. Obviously it does. We'll do a nickel run in a bit when we really need to go and get it. That'll do there, that'll do there. That's the little shelving unit. Now we just need to box it in at the back. What I'd really like to see is some wall panels with a hole in the middle. For doing these conveyor lines. Which way around is that? That's going to be that way, because I could put that there, but obviously it's going to block that hole. And that is slightly too big. We don't have anything much skinnier, because on the other one I've just built that out of various bits. But there's still this gap around the conveyor extension that I'm not massively fond of. So I'd like some, either maybe some slightly wider sections of these that are like maybe 2 or 3 blocks across, or a wall section with a hole in it. Moment, I kind of have to box it in sort of like that, but then I don't have anything other than the standard block to fill in that side. We basically, ooh, that's the wrong one, basically just have to do that. And then where was the skinny one of them? Is it that one? Is it? Oh, it's that one. Cool. Look at the wrong pieces. That's the one. Yeah, and that little triangle gap annoys me. Because as much as you can do with the new grid system, you can't fill that gap in. I can just do that at the moment. Yeah, and then we need to get nickel for that, we need to get nickel for that. That's welded, but buttons don't do anything at the moment, unfortunately, but that will eventually be some up and down controls for a piston, and some rotation and locking controls for a rotor on the end of it, so I can move the mech around as I see fit. Hopefully that will be something I can do soon. Right, so let's do a bit of decor in here. Because in here we've got a whole bunch of containers and stuff, mostly just decorative for now, but we might actually use them for storing certain things. And then we've got a few bits on shelves, like thrusters and ore detectors, all half-built stuff, kind of ready for getting mounted to some kind of robot. So yeah, we'll replicate something like that. Where did I put my shelf blueprint? There it is. Lovely. Oh, I love this new blueprinting system. It does work very nicely. So how do I space everything on this side? I put little gaps in it, didn't I? I can keep it sort of consistent to that, so yeah. 1 block away from the edge of that wall there. Yeah, okay. I've got a rough idea of how we'll lay them out. So, something like that, I think. Is it like that? We'll have a quick double check again. Ah, no, it wasn't. It was. I'm back. Can I undo that action? No, because that's undoing stuff that I've pasted onto the... Yeah. I wish the undo action could apply to things that you paste in. Because now, to get rid of that, I've actually just got to remove all the bits of it. Like that, and that's a pain in the ass. Get away. Right, we'll try that again then. So that's going to be, yeah, so one back from there. Yeah, there we go. That's about right. Cool. We'll flip that around. Leave a little bit of a gap. How do we do the other spacing? No, it doesn't matter, it's a different size. We'll just make something up, so I will put that the right way around. Yeah, so I'll leave another gap there, so we've got a bit of room to get in between those shelves. With all of them there, like so. Oh, I might have to put that in the wrong place though. Just get rid of that again. There we go. Right, so actually with all that time? Yes we are. So we'll put that there. That's upside down. Energy is low. Yes, Mom, we'll sort it out in a second. Yeah. Quickly, before we die. Yeah, that's not too bad. Right, I'll leave that like that for the moment. Let's get these shelving units welded. We will definitely need more iron though. Oh, and hopefully, in a couple of weeks maybe, I might actually be building some robots in here. Whew. And that would be marvellous. I've already, in the vein of mech building, I've already been tinkering around with a control seat that doubles as a gyroscope. And had some pretty successful results with it. Because I was, to be honest, it was directly inspired by the one that Splitsy made in his like basic modding tutorial for SE2 that he did ages ago. But I noticed that he hasn't actually released that as a mod, and no one else seems to have actually made that as a mod, so I've been tinkering with the idea, and it works quite well. So I'm thinking of having a when we get some more control seats and things, I'm thinking of making a whole bunch of control seat mods. Mostly for the intention of mech building, obviously, but I imagine they'll be useful to other people too. It took a bit of tinkering to get it to work properly, because I noticed there was actually a few things in Splitsu's tutorial on it that he didn't actually mention. That you need to get that kind of mod working. Yeah, I've got that on the back burner for when mech building becomes a thing in this game. Is that a block? Ah. You, grid system. Why do you keep doing that? Is that the half block? That is the half block. Right, are we happy now? Cool. Right, and we can just fill all of these shelves with an assortment of containers and other unfinished blocks to make it look like it's a bit of a storage space. I'm also wondering, what size of reactors do we actually have these days? I'm wondering if we're going to get any smaller ones. Yeah, when it comes to reactors, we've only got gigantic and huge. I hope we get some smaller ones again, because I like putting reactors on my robots. It's a good source of fuel, but we can open it out. Ah! GR, thank you for subscribing. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm hoping we got some small reactors, because I like powering my robots with tiny reactors. Is relying purely on battery power? Oh, have I run out of iron? Ah, no, that's why it's not working. Yeah, relying purely on battery power can be a little bit iffy. But then again, if we don't get it, I'm sure someone else will mod it into the game. I'm already, myself, planning to mod 25cm mechanical blocks into the game if Keen don't give them to us in the first place. So I have been tinkering around with Blender, hence why I've got the skull face in my costume. If I can actually get to a decent position. Yeah, scary skull face. So I've been learning about 3D modelling and stuff, so making my own tiny rotors and pistons isn't completely off the cards. I just need those mechanics in the game first, because I can't build the mod if I don't have the assets. And I especially don't want to build the mod if the physics and things aren't in the game yet either. So once mechanical blocks are a thing, and hopefully work nicely, I might have to start diving into 3D modelling and stuff, and make my own tiny mechanical blocks, because I've got a feeling if they do become a thing, it's probably not going to be for a while. Because I know Marek seems to be quite set on the 25cm grid size being decorative. I think that's a missed opportunity for crazy compact designs. I think it should be functional. Because honestly, it kind of seems pointless adding a new tiny grid size to the game, or to the new game, if it's not going to be as functional as the other grid sizes. Kind of like, what's the point? I want a tiny block to do stuff. Like, I want tiny lights, teeny weeny little 25cm lights that I can tuck into places. Out of iron again. Pretty much. Right, just gonna get a little bit more. Ooh, we are starting to run low. Where were we up to? We were up to here. Yeah, I also can't wait for mechanical blocks, because then I can make these SE2 streams a little bit more interesting, rather than me just endlessly welding new blocks. Can't wait to start programming, but I've not seen or heard anything about timer blocks yet. I do really hope they are in the works somewhere, or at least in the planning stages. And I really hope we get event controllers again in SE2. Event controllers are pretty much my favourite block in SE1, just because they're so versatile. And there's a lot of things that most people would have to rely on a script to do that you can actually do with an event controller. And a few other blocks, if you take a moment to think about how you're programming it. So I really hope they are on the cards for SE2. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Right, that's another set of shelving units. Lovely, everything over here is welded up, yes. Yeah, cool, right. What time are we on? Oh, we've only been going for a little bit over an hour. Fine. Plenty of time left. We'll be doing at least another 2 hours of this. And then a bit of Elite Dangerous later on. Right. Probably put some stuff on those shelves to make it look a little bit more lived in. Oh yeah, we can build a couple of lockers somewhere as well. And then I had a bunch of workbenches. And I need to put windows into the walls. Actually, there was windows up here that needed finishing, wasn't there? Let's take a bit of silicon and finish the windows in that roof first. $400 kilos. That is not a 400 kilo pane of glass. I'm telling you now, that is way too much. far too much. Yeah, them all the same colour. Yeah, I will come up with a more interesting window design at some point. We'll do the roof windows up there eventually. In fact, we might do something from scratch up there. Oh yeah, I wanted to put that on the outside of this building as well, didn't I? Or a variation of it. Oh, but it's a bit short. You know what, we'll just build the window first. We'll build the frame around it afterwards. Right, where's my windows? Windows. There we go. So I'll load of them in there because I quite like the way it looks compared to just having a big row of the larger windows. That all the way up there. I do like to be able to get a little bit of natural light into the workspaces I use. Not just have spotlights everywhere. I also wonder if we'll get any new hanger doors. Because that was something I thought when they started teasing stuff about pistons and rotors. Because the new pistons are apparently going to reach 20 meters, whereas in SE1 they're only 10. But from what I've seen, it looks like the pistons are the same size as they were in SE1. So they've got the same size blocks but twice the reach. So I'm wondering if they could do the same thing with hanger doors. We could get hanger doors that could reach more than 2 blocks, because I know so many people that complain the hanger doors aren't really big enough to be particularly functional. You can stick 2 together, but you can still only get something fairly small through that gap. And it's kind of the same issue with the gates as well. A lot of them look very cool, but they're only really any use for very tiny grids to get through. Right, that is all of those windows. Have we got enough silicon to do all of those windows? We will find out. Yeah, it's currently 240 kilo per half panel. That still seems double what it should be, at least. But there's plenty of room for balance passes. And it's not like you can't just mod the components to require less stuff. It just takes a long time going through all the files. Ooh. This thing's about to run out of battery because I forgot to turn the thrusters off. Let's go and put him back on charge. There we go. Right, let's get those thrusters off and get those batteries onto recharge. Oh, I hope VS2 brings those toolbar commands like it says it was going to. Make life so much easier. What do we need? We need to take the silicon and ditch some iron. Take some more silicon. Get some of these windows done. Oh, load spike. Settle down. Get all the windows on the sides of this one done, didn't I? Yeah. Ah, there we are. Hope we get some bigger windows as well at some point, like 2 block long sections. Oh, I hope the rotors work well in this game. If we can get at least the same functionality that they have in SE1, I'll be happy. If we can get better functionality than we have in SE1, I'll be super happy. That was the wrong thing. I don't want that. I want silicon, thank you very much. Yeah, if we can get the same functionality in mechanical blocks as we do in SE1, I'll be very happy with this game. Because the graphics are lovely. It looks so much nicer than SE1. Just the basic graphics, but still got a long way to go with the actual moment-by-moment gameplay. And some of the physics engine stuff, but it is an alpha game, so that is to be expected. Ah, that's why I couldn't do that bit, because I was stuck on the thing below me. Have I just run out of... more contracts. Ah, hello, faithless one. More contracts as well. That'll be another good one. More things to do. Yeah, because they've been adding like a few little things with the little mini updates they've done, but yeah, oh, we're gonna have to get more silicon. Yeah, more contracts will be good. I do quite like the way the contract system at the moment is kind of replaced the progression system that SE1 had, because the old progression system was a bit clumsy, really. Whereas the way they've got it set up in this, where you unlock new blocks as rewards for doing a contract, I think is a better system. It kind of makes you engage with the contract system, and it also gives that more of a point, because the contracts in SE1, it's kind of just like resources or money rewards, whereas unlocking functional blocks that let you do and build bigger and better stuff, I think that's a better natural incentive for doing the contract missions. And that is all the silicon I have on me for now. And the sun has gone down. Wonderful. Perfect timing. In the meantime, we will build some stuff on the shelves. So, let's grab some more iron. 100%, you like the progression behind the contracts. Yeah, man, that's what I was saying, like, because I don't really like the progression system in SE1. I pretty much always turn it off, because it's a bit convoluted. Because all the blocks I want at the beginning of a progression system are all locked behind stuff I don't care about right at the beginning of a survival game. So I always have progression turned off in that. Whereas in this, it's always like, oh, I need a better reactor, or I need this kind of block. Right, let's pop off and do a mission and go and unlock that. As you can see, I've got one there, and I think that might be a mission for bigger reactors or something. Contracts. Comm station. Upgrading comms. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, that unlocks better gyros, better atmo thrusters, better space thrusters, and better... yeah, that unlocks a whole bunch of better ship-moving stuff. I'm not too fussed about now, but when I want it, I can go do that mission and unlock it. And that's definitely a way more fun way of doing that, I think, than just, right, you need to get the resources and build this refinery because we've decided that building refineries unlocks the next thing. Yeah, it'd be good to have more contracts and things to do. Speaking of things to do, let's put some decoration on these shelves. Right, so in terms of storage decor, we've only really got these little crates and these big barrels at the moment. I'm hoping we get more variety like we've got in SE1 with the boxes and crates and all that stuff. I usually just, at the moment, I'm just sticking them on shelves in primary colour kind of formats, just to fill things out a bit and give it a bit of life. I'll stick one of them there. A red one next to it, and maybe that yellow one. Kind of higgledy-piggledy on that shelf. And that's not going to fit down there that way. We have to turn that one sideways. We might stick something like that down there on that one. And the rest of it, I've mostly just been throwing other half-finished blocks onto things. Like the kind of stuff that I'd probably end up putting on a mech eventually anyway, like some half-built guns. I can sort of just half-weld them up, and yeah, like some half-finished weapons, a bit of decorative stuff lying around. What we'll have down here, stick some ore detectors down here. A couple of half-finished ore detectors that are ready to be installed on some kind of mining robot. What do we need for them? Oh, they're just iron. That's fine. We'll get them nice and welded up. Yeah, so I kind of hope we get all the standard sort of AI blocks that we've gotten used to in SE1, eventually in SE2. So I'm hoping we'll be able to build custom turrets, because for the moment I've just got this kind of thing sitting here as a placeholder, because I'm hoping we'll be able to get custom turret controllers eventually and build our own ones and have AI blocks for them. I'm then probably going to need to... I thought, you know what, let's just go grab some more iron anyway. We need to recharge. Iron. A little bit of iron. Jump in there for a second, recharge a little bit. Yeah, right, let's carry on. What's that? You're ready for Warfare 1 to drop? Warfare 1? Oh, as in Warfare 1 for SE2. Yeah, that would be quite cool. I mean, I think they're still a long way off with SE2 before we get any DLC packs. I imagine the game would need to... Ooh, I missed a block there. I imagine SE1's going to need to officially be a game rather than be an alpha or a beta before we start getting DLC block packs and things, but yeah, I can't wait for a Warfare 1 drop myself. I think I've got every single DLC for SE1 because I like having all those different blocks for doing different greebling with. Because you can do some interesting stuff with all kinds of blocks that you probably wouldn't think about. You know what, let's have a shelf with some little connectors on it. Let's put the darker colour. Because when I'm building little mechs, and probably even the bigger ones, I do put docking connectors on them. So we could have some of them on that shelf. Ready for installing on some small drones somewhere. What else have we got we could populate these shelves with? Little gyros. We're definitely going to need little gyros when we start building robots. We'll just throw a bunch of them on this shelf here. You know what, I'll just leave them like that. Don't really need to go mad stacking them. Mostly decorative for the moment anyway. Right, let's put some more containers into this one. Where did we leave off? Let's do a big blue barrel under here. Why are you being so awkward? Thank you. A blue barrel there, and a yellow one there. Yeah, we have a couple of them on there. I wish we had some more storage containers, a little bit of variety. And those, unfortunately, you can't place. Well, I can, if I do that, I can get them on sideways, but the little wall sections, they look quite Look, they look like they'd be quite cool for a bit of armor paneling on a mech, but they've only got a connection point on the very bottom. What's that? You're about to head out. Good luck on the build stream thread. Thanks, man. Cheers, dude. Like I said, I'll be here for another few hours, and I'm going to be streaming some Elite Dangerous afterwards, so I'll be here for most of the night in one capacity or another. But yeah, have fun with whatever you're doing, mate. And I'll see you next time. Them like that. Yeah, because those new wall sections, they look really cool. I love the detailing on them, but they're probably going to be a bit awkward to use as armor paneling on a mech because of that connection point only being on the very end. But I'm sure there'll be ways of working around that. Oh, that's also a reason I'd like to have 25cm hinges, because you could just hinge that onto something at the bottom end. And that'd make a lovely little flappy panel on a mech. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I might have to try and figure that out at some point. What else could we put on a shelf over here? Some landing gear. We'll put some landing gear on the bottom one. They look like they'd make some good robot feet. Obviously, there's no connection point there, so typical. Whereas if we stack them side by side. Where is there? So there we go. As long as they connect, I don't really need them to be fully welded. I just need them to have connection points that sit on the shelf. There we go. So we've got a nice little shelf of little robot feet, some gyros, some connectors, some guns, some more detectors. What else could we stick on one of these shelves? Maybe some little hydro thrusters. Nope, don't want that. I just want that, thank you. That an assortment of thrusters up here. Well, I have a load of hydro ones here. We can put some ion and atmos on some of the other shelves. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. What are we on? So we are on just gone past an hour and a half. So I was planning to do 3 hours of this today, and then probably 3 hours of Elite. So I'm going to take a little quick break now, grab myself a cup of tea, and go for a quick bio break, and then come back and probably do the roof maybe, and fill out the rest of them shelves. And oh, I just walked over. Oh, is there another invisible? Oh, one of the invisible rocks is back. Yep. I am standing on an invisible rock because it has respawned in my damn base. That is going to be a problem. Particularly if that's right in the doorway. I'm going to have a robot trip right over that. Right, I hope that gets resolved with 2.2. Anyway, for the moment, I am going to go and sit in a ship so I don't run out of energy and die by mistake. And I will Let's stick it in spectator cam for a moment, and yeah, I'll leave you that view. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere. Right. I am back again. Cool, so what were we doing? Let's get back into our pilot's view. Right, more welding. Let's get the HUD back up so I can see what I'm doing. Try and get some of those signals down a bit. Right, so I'll fill those shelves out in a little bit. I want to put some more detail into this room first, so some workbenches like we've got over there, and maybe some more lockers. So for the moment, as far as workbenches go, all I can really build is a desk. We've only got basic ones at the moment. All the fancy stuff like the lab desks we've got in SE1. So we'll just go with something basic for the moment. We'll have 3 of them in a row like we do on the other side. We'll have another locker. Where's my locker blueprint? There it is. We'll have a set of them either side of that. We can have something else here. Something else here at some stage later. So let's replicate that again. So 3 gap in the middle, so that's going to go there. 1, 2, and 3. Of those desks gone. There they are. One of them, one of them, and one of them. There's some little workbench areas. Oh, I do need to make them not the same colour though, so they stand out. What colour did I do? I think I just did it grey, didn't I? Yeah, they're just grey for the moment, because we're kind of restricted on colour palettes. Which I'm hoping also gets resolved soon. I hope we get the ability to have more than just the 8 colours we're kind of restricted to at the moment. Or what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's, yeah, 16, isn't it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh no, 14. Either way, it's not enough colours at the moment. And you can make colour wheel mods, but again, you're still kind of restricted to as many as you can get into that colour wheel. So there's a few pros and cons to doing colour wheel mods at the moment. Because I've thought of making some colour wheel mods myself, but again, you're just swapping out a limited selection that you can use. Pardon me, still recovering from a bit of a cough. Hopefully the microphone filter is catching most of that. Right, then we just have some lockers for storing other various bits in. Potentially tools and things. I don't need more iron. Yeah, we definitely need to get some kind of production over here, because this part of the base is probably is going to be temporary. It's probably going to get all ground down to make way for better things eventually. So I reckon we will need to put some production facilities over here. I was thinking of building a little factory type thing at the side of this bigger warehouse. So where were we up to? We were up to there. Oh yeah, I'm going to need to repaint some of those boxes because they're all green and yellow at the minute. I'd like a little bit more colour in there. In fact, do that right now. Oop, wrong button. I'll colour all the red. Do one of them blue. There we go. All the primary colours, depending who you ask. Right, let's build up this side. Missing components. Yeah, I'm still hoping, and I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and I'm hoping all of the block building gets a balance pass. That is right of iron. Why are you making drilling noises? Strange audio bugs. Yeah, I'm hoping all the resource requirements get to balance pass, because it's just a bit silly. The amount of stuff that goes into these blocks, like 320 kilos for a locker that's about the same height as I am. Not a chance, that's insane. Right, so that is another set of lockers. Then we've got the last one here, and hopefully I've got just enough iron to finish this off before I have to inevitably go and get more. Oh no, speak of the devil, he ran out of it before I even finished that sentence. Typical. Right, that is it for iron, isn't it? Is indeed it for iron. Right, we're gonna have to go get more. Let's jump in there. What do we need to turn on? Thrusters on, batteries on auto. It's charged up enough for now. Where's the iron? It is that way. Let's go get iron. Let's drink some tea on the way. Ah. That's another thing. Another one of the little things I'd like for SE2. I'm hoping the farming stuff that we've now got in SE1 makes an appearance in SE2 and gets expanded on, because they've been teasing lots of cool environmental stuff. In their little videos, like undersea, underwater, like plant life and all these trees and weather effects and things. So I'm hoping we get some more of the farming mechanics, but a little bit more expanded upon, like they seem to be doing with a lot of stuff here. You get off the desk. There's like cat allowed on that desk. Let's dig outside of this hole a little bit more, so there's a bit more room to move in the iron pit. Yeah, I'm hoping we get some more farming stuff in SE2. I hope they give us the option to automate it, unlike SE1. there's only so much that my farming robots can do by themselves in Space Engineers 1. Without being able to automatically plant stuff, I'm hoping it might give us those kind of options in this eventually. It'd be nice to see the food and foraging and growing mechanics added to Space Engineers 2 at some point in the future. To have mechanical blocks so I can make mining ships that have drills that move around and open up much bigger space. Because the drills at the moment are a little bit restrictive. They don't seem to dig out a whole lot of the rock. Get a bit more on this side. There we go, back down to the iron again. Right, I should be able to get a nice little chunk out of this now. What are we on? 23 tons? We can easily fit double that in here. I do like that lighting effect in SE2. Oh! Lena Blake 23 is now following. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And there we go, 45. We are, ooh, a little bit too full. The ship's doing weird stuff. No, don't fall over. Please don't fall over. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Alright, we've overfilled slightly. That got very janky for a second then. The physics engine is still a work in progress in this game. The ship almost tried to flip itself then. So we will just take it back to the base. A little bit slower. A little bit more chill. Hopefully not flip the ship. Oh hey, over there. Is that Iena Blake? Over on Twitch. Hey, how are you? I'm good. I'm cool. I'm just enjoying a little bit of Space Engineers 2 while we continue to wait for the next vertical slice update. And hopefully that will start bringing some of my favourite features into SE2. Namely some basic version of the mechanical blocks. So that maybe I can start building robots in this game. Sometime in the future. How are you anyway? You having a good evening? Or a good day, depending on your particular time zone? be honest, I probably could have chosen to do this series in creative mode so I could make more progress, but I decided to make it a survival game. Just to torture myself. Right, here we go. Let's land this over here. We'll keep it... actually, no, we'll dock it up. We'll get that battery charged back up again. Needs the power. It is super heavy and sluggish with all that iron inside it. Yeah, I hope we get AI blocks in the future as well, so I can build auto-docking systems. Because I'm lazy, if I can automate it, I will. If I can get my ship to land itself, while I sit back and drink a cup of tea, I'll always be much happier doing it that way. Yes, I am able to read the chats, Luna. I can see you popping up on my Twitch chat. So yeah, I can see you, I can hear you. Well, I can see your chats. And my microphone should be turned on, so you should be able to hear me. Right, we are docked. Awesome. Let's turn those thrusters off and turn the batteries on. So yeah, I've got both my YouTube and my Twitch chat on screen, or on some screens in front of me, so I can see what everybody is typing in the chats if they want to chat back to me. There might be a bit of a time delay on the two platforms depending on how they're all synced up, but I can see what you're saying and you can hear what I'm saying. So we can converse. Right. Hey Archibald, how are you doing, mate? Welcome to the party. So yeah, 2 hours. So yeah, I'm probably going to do about another hour or so of Space Engineers 2, and then I'm going to have a little bit of a break for half an hour, get some food, and maybe get some for my cats as well, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to stream a little bit more Elite Dangerous this evening, because I've been getting back into that game quite heavily. There's just a little bit of change of pace from... Oh yeah, I need silicon for that. From constantly thinking about building robots and stuff. There's only so much welding you can do. Sometimes you just want to fly around the galaxy hunting pirates. Right, so that is that box there. What's Archibald? Doing well, hope everyone else is. Yeah, I'm good. I'm pretty good. Right, let's change that colour and that colour. So we've got all the primary colours on both sides, but offset, so they are opposites. Cool. Right. We definitely need to go and get more silicon to finish those windows. Let's... Oh yeah, we need more nickel so I can finish that storage container as well, and the door. You know what? Let's just go and get nickel now. Get it over and done with. Because there's a silicon and nickel deposit right next to each other, so let's get all of the iron out of the grid with no name, because I keep forgetting to give it a name. We'll dump all the ore out of it into the main base. 42 tons of iron does not last anywhere near as long as you'd like it to. Why are those drills making drill noises when they're not drilling? Yeah, I can't wait for the audio bugs to get fixed in this game. Well, tapping my mouse then, the tiniest bit, sorted that right out. Nickel silicon. Grab like 20k of each. Robo Man. I don't know what the rest is, numbers. I've not got the glasses on. I hope by the next update I can run the game on medium settings instead of super low and 75% resolution. Yeah, there's some optimization issues with it at the moment. Yeah, I'm hoping they can bring it down a bit, because I mean, at the moment, graphics settings, there is a whopping 2 settings, performance and quality, and you can't adjust anything individually yet, so yeah, it looks like all that stuff is on the cards, all the sliders and things are in place. I just don't think they've got round to actually setting all of those variables up yet, so hopefully, yeah, in the near future, lower spec computers will be able to run it with lower res settings. Because my computer's not bad, but it's not amazing, and when I was experimenting with the debug water stuff, it was getting a bit chuggy, and it makes me worry slightly for when the water mechanics actually get added properly into the game, whether or not my computer's going to be able to handle it properly or not. Because yeah, just spawning in a little bit of water was yeah, a bit laggy to say the least. It wasn't too bad once it loaded in all the graphics, but you could still feel the effect it was having on the overall gameplay. Let's cut a bit of a bigger hole out here. Down to the silicon yet, sort of. Ooh. Yeah, I also hope they sort out the ranges on these drills, because I've drilled a nice little doom spike in the voxels right there. I'm hoping they open up the drilling range just a little bit, just so they just slightly overlap and don't create doom spikes down the middle. That could cause you some problems. Yeah, because it's just carving a doom spike every time. I drill down, I have to kind of wiggle side to side as I go down to get that little tiny bit in the middle of the 2 drills. I think this silicon node might be on its way out, because I did a lot of drilling there and I've not gotten very much silicon for my efforts. Yeah, I think this silicon hole's running out. even much left in here at all. It's all, oh yeah, it's all very patchy now, isn't it? Yeah, there's a bit left, but it is definitely running out. Yeah, the signal's starting to fracture off into little tiny bits now. That's when you know that the resources start to run out. Because it's not one big homogeneous lump of silicon now. There's a little bit over there, a little bit over here. Right, we are going to have to go and find some more silicon. Great. Yeah, we can at least get to 5,000, okay. That's not too bad. Oh, that signal's gone. That little patch is almost more or less done. We get to 6,000? Is there enough to get to 6,000 silicon? Yes, just about. You know what, I'm just going to call that quits there. We needed nickel as well. So let's grab... a bit of this. Let's dig that hole out. Yeah, I hope future updates for SE2 bring some camera position updates, because they all seem to be a little bit too high in their offsets. Like for the character and for the ships, it's like the cameras are mounted like 6 feet above everything. It's a little bit annoying. Because if I zoom my camera all the way in, I can't even see my ship. A bit stupid. Without the use of cameras, it makes it a bit tricky trying to do drilling. Right, there we go. That's the nickel hit. Opened up a little bit more. Yeah, another reason I can't wait for rotors and hinges and stuff, so I can angle lights. But currently I can either have spotlights at 90 degrees straight out or 90 degrees straight down. There is no angles at the minute, really. Right, let's grab a whole bunch of this now. Open the pit up as we go a little bit. What are we on? 3,000. Let's just pretty much fill up on nickel. Get as much of it as we can. take it all back to base. Let's see if we can get 10,000 nickel, then hopefully we'll have to go scrounging for it for a while, because I don't use it for an awful lot. Firstly, iron. We use lots of. Right, there we go. 10,000 nickel, that will do. Where is the base? It is that way. Wonderful. Yeah, and the battery's back to 42%, so I could do with going back on charge again. Right, so, away we go. We'll be back. So yeah, as I've mentioned earlier in this stream, the VS 2.2 update, from everything Keen has told us so far, is probably going to require fresh save games for it to run properly. So at some point in the near future, I'm probably going to end up copying and pasting these buildings into a new save game in the same location, and then stick that game back into survival mode again, and then carry on like nothing happened. Because, yeah, the next update is reportedly enough of an overhaul that it's going to require completely new save games. Unfortunately, it's annoying when that kind of thing happens, but depending on the changes they make and stuff, sometimes it's necessary. So yeah, I think I'll just copy and paste it all, because I'm not starting this world again from scratch. I'm not wasting all of that hard work. But I also want to carry on with the survival aspect of it. So I think, yeah, the plan will just be blueprint all this, paste it into a new game, and pretend that we hadn't had to do that. Oh, what's that, Rubberman? Also, followed your mech tutorial and couldn't get it to work when you pressed W or S. Which one? Because I've got a couple of mech tutorials on my tutorial list, and some of them are out. In fact, most of them are outdated, and I do need to make a newer tutorial on how to do vanilla mechs. How did you set the controls up, and what are you using the W or S keys for? Is that to trigger event controllers using thrusters? Is that the tutorial you're going off? Because I've come up with a few different ways of making vanilla controls over the years, so I'm not sure which tutorial particularly you're referring to. I assume it's the more recent one about building bipeds. Alright, what did we need? We needed grab a bit of nickel. We'll get some nickel into that door needs fixing or finishing. Yay! It's finished now. The doors can actually close. That needs silicon. Yeah, I really need to make a more updated tutorial for building vanilla mechs, because every time I get sort of comfortable in a way of doing that kind of thing, Keen decide to drastically overhaul how particular blocks work, and then I find a better way of doing it, and then the tutorial I made 6 months ago suddenly becomes obsolete because I've got a better way of doing things. And what's that? You even loaded the workshop world and didn't see a difference between mine and yours. I'm not sure. I would have to see what the how the programming is set up, or if you could try and explain how you've got the programming set up, because it's all vanilla. It's not as simple as saying, "Oh, this part of the script is broken." It can all be a bit convoluted. Because I use the thrusters to trigger an event controller, which in turn activates a whole bunch of stuff with the walking controls and the priority order. But it only worked when you turned on the timer. Okay, so what tutorial are you referring to? Because there's a few different things I've done with timers depending on what tutorial it is and what tutorial robot you're working with. Is it the biped or is it the little spider looking thing? Because the little spider looking one is incredibly outdated. Also, if you can tell me exactly which blueprint it is, I can go and have a look at it and see if maybe the blueprint is broken. Because sometimes that happens with old blueprints getting loaded into updated games. Things break and don't quite work properly, which I've experienced myself. Oh yeah, we can finish that off, can't we? Wonderful. Right, that's the door, that's that. You can actually get resources into here, in theory, when I get round to doing conveyor routes and things, but I need to build the factory over here first. And that's all going to go up there eventually. We will get these windows finished off. Building vanilla mech biped. Right, that's the one I thought you were on about. Yeah, again, that one is a little bit outdated. What exactly is not working? So when you hit the control keys to make it walk, it's not walking, I imagine. So you even loaded my workshop and didn't see a difference. Does my workshop one work and your one that you've built not work? Is there an issue there? What do we need? Silicon. Grab that, dump the iron, dump the nickel, give me more silicon, give me lots and lots and lots of it, thank you. Off. Mine works, yours doesn't. Okay, right. In that case, it sounds like you might have just made a little error somewhere in the programming. Have you just straight up copied the programming, like section by section from my mech? Because one of the issues with that particular mech design is I did that tutorial before they the digitigrade one, the double knee joint one. Yeah, because one of the issues with those mechs is I made them and did that tutorial before Keen updated the hinges and rotors and everything, and started doing all of these set parameter actions. You followed step by step from the video and it still didn't work, then maybe I've stuffed up the tutorial. I would have to have a look. Join, if you're not already part of my Discord, join my Discord. I've got a dedicated channel in there for people struggling with automation and stuff in SE2, and you can chat to me more directly and more in depth about it there and send me screenshots and things, or even videos of stuff to try and diagnose the problem, because I'm always willing to help, but there's only so much help I can offer via voice chat on a live stream. Whereas if you join the Discord, I can probably give you a bit more advice on it. But yeah, like I was saying, those mechs are from before Keen started doing the set variable commands, and I do things a bit differently now because of that. So, like I said, it's also your first time making a mech in SE, but you've made them in other games. Yeah, Space Engineers has got a particular way of doing things. Some good advice is make sure you've got the experimental effects active in the menu. If you go to the game setting, the advanced game settings of your save file, right at the bottom is all of the inertia tensor and torque settings and all the experimental settings for the hinges and rotors. Make sure they're active, because that really does help with mech building in Space Engineers 1. Particularly the share inertia tensor function, that helps dramatically with creating subgrid chains like legs and arms and limbs. Because subgrids get a little bit wobbly after a while in Space Engineers. Stick too many things together and it all starts to become a jiggly wiggly mess. And share inertia tensor helps to fix that right up. Was that the last of my silicon? Pretty much was, wasn't it? Smeg. Let's go and get more silicon at some stage. This awning that we did up here, I do like that. So you know what? I am going to use the wonderful partial copy feature. So I want from there, I think, we'll grab it from there to there, all the way down there. Yes, I'm going to nick that. I'm going to glue it onto the front of here. Oh, how did I have that lined up there? Oh, I should have gone from the middle, really. You know what, let's grab it from the middle instead. Make it a little bit easier to figure out where I'm pasting it. Oh, I do actually need that side as well, because of the way I've made that down there. So we'll do that, we'll do that, we'll do that, and we'll do that. Yeah, so there's a bit missing there. What's that? You've made MARM OS cranes back when that was big and new. I'm not sure what MARM OS is. It sounds cool. Yeah, we will take that instead. That makes a bit more sense. Yeah, because I can line that up better. So that is sitting right on the bottom edge. Yeah, so that's going to sit there, kind of like that. And then, through the wonders of partial copy, you can grab that. Get that to match up there. We can grab that. Oh, I wish this was a thing in Space Engineers 1. It would make building complicated robots so much easier if I could just do this. So I can't wait to be able to build them in SE2. And then we should have a 2-block gap in between there, and I can potentially press the wrong button. Select that, that's what I want. Nope, that was the wrong button. So many hotkeys in this game. It's very easy to press the wrong thing by mistake. There we go. So in theory, that will fit in that gap. Yes. Beautiful. Right, that can go there. And that can go there. Wonderful. And that could be the awning for the front of there. And we also put one of the funky triangular pieces. I really wish we had a triangular catwalk in SE1. I really like them in this, and I don't know why we don't have them in SE1. We've got other triangular pieces in this shape with these sort of dimensions. I don't know why SE1 doesn't have something like this. Right, let's go and recharge before I die again. What's that? Oh, it's a WASD control script for 6-axis cranes. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you can almost replicate that kind of stuff with event controllers and thrusters now in SE1. So I've done a couple of tutorials on like making like forklifts and things. 6-axis crane actually isn't too bad now. You can do most of that using a turret controller. Right, that me recharged. It is me recharged. Okay, right, let's get that awning welded. Have I got... No, I haven't. Let's go back and get some iron quickly. Would have 40 tons of it in there. Lovely. So yeah, I also have in the realm of tutorials, I do also have a tutorial on my page for how to do this crazy nonsense to your suit in Space Engineers 2 and how to modify it, all the colours and your jetpacks and all that stuff, if anybody is interested in learning how. It's not too difficult, it's mostly just recolouring some textures, a lot of it, and then telling Space Engineers to look at the new textures instead. Where were we? We were here, so let's do these bits. Yeah, third-person welding in Space Engineers is still a bit awkward. That's that, you just joined and said hello. No worries, mate. I will get back to you on Discord at some point later this evening. So I'm planning to do another stream not long after I've wrapped up this one. But, yeah, I'm always keeping an eye on the messages in my Discord. I think the group is called System Diagnostics or something fairly mechanically related to troubleshooting. Yeah, if you just drop a message in there, maybe some screenshots of how you've got things set up. I think I've got it set up so you can post videos into the channels, so you can record like little clips of things that are going wrong. I try and diagnose your problems from there and help out as much as I can. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that when I get a chance. Particularly if you've been trying to follow one of my tutorials and you're struggling with it. I feel extra incentive to try and help people out when they're struggling with stuff that I've kind of told them how to do. But like I said, that tutorial is kind of out of date, and I do need to make a newer one because some of my newer robots work in a slightly more efficient way. Because yeah, as I mentioned, Keen, bless Keen, I love them. They make one of my favourite games in the world, but like I said, every time I settle into a way of doing a thing, and I'm like, right, this is the way of doing the thing, they will update something that makes it way, way easier to do the thing that I'm trying to do, and then I have to reevaluate my entire life again. But saying that, every time they do something like that, it does make programming mechs without using scripts much, much easier. Because the new set variable controls make a lot of difference now to being able to program robotic legs a lot more accurately, and less of having to just rely on using the reverse command and a fixed RPM value. Yeah, I'll get back to you, and I will try and give you as much help as I can, but I am going to do a better tutorial at some point in the future when I get the time. And Lord knows, the second I publish it, Keen will release another update that makes something else better. As far as I know, this 209 update is mostly focused on economy and sort of background simulation stuff, so it shouldn't fiddle with the mechanical side of things too much, from what I can tell, so hopefully any tutorial I do make isn't going to get outdated in 6 months. Cool, right, how did I connect them? Up there, it's just a black triangle block, isn't it? Yeah, that's cool. Black. Or super dark grey rather than black. Yeah, that can go there. That can go there. Another thing I'd like, maybe some corner blocks for these truss sections. Something that's this size, but like with some cutouts in the middle. To make it like the end of a piece of triangle beam. Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh yeah, we need to put windows in the roof. Not got any silicon left. It looks like the sun is kind of on its way. That's a very pretty colour transition over there. From the yellow to the purple to the blue. Oh, very nice. I'll try and take a screenshot of that actually. Do that UI. Yeah, I quite like that. Let's get a nice screenshot of that. We'll carry on. I'll stop taking pretty pictures. UI. Buttons are different when you swap between SE1 and 2. Windows. Where are the windows? So what do we do with the windows up here? One, two, three. So you can't get them bang in the middle because they're 5 blocks long and everything is 10 blocks now, so everything's always going to be offset by a little bit. And that annoys the crap out of me. Oh well. What do we do with that? Oh, the sun's come up very quickly. What do we do there? You know what, I might just be lazy for now. It's all going to have to get copied and pasted at some point. So we'll just put something in. Yeah, we'll have something like that for now. Do a similar thing at the back end here. I did all sorts of weird spacing with those windows, didn't I? One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, I don't know why I did any of that. What could we do differently over here? What would look interesting? You know what, maybe we have just wall sections in between the smaller windows. What will that look like if I do a run of them down there like that? So that window, one of them window, to the opposite side from here, so that can be their window. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 4. And potentially another big window in the middle. Yeah. Okay. That's not too bad. I think that'll look alright, but I do want to make it the right colour. Get rid of that. Put the big one back in. Yeah. I'm happy with that idea. It's quite nicely, doesn't look too bad. Place slightly. Then big one in the middle. That there. And then big one in the middle. Cool. Hang on, I've miscounted here somewhere. There's 4 that side, there's 3 that side. That's not right. So that ends up actually being like that. You fool. Oh, energy's running low again. Okay, maybe we'll put a full wall in there instead, because that'll be even. As rotors only have a limit of 60 and not 300. Yeah, rotors have only... In SE1, small rotors have a limit of 60 RPM, and big rotors have a limit of 30 RPM. So you can essentially... so that they won't tick over any quicker than 60 RPM, but if you're using an event controller to count ticks or rotations of that rotor, you can add multiple event controllers all offset from each other at different trigger values, and you can essentially double up how many counts you get out of rotor per second. So if you had one event controller looking at a rotor triggering every time it's spun round back to 5 degrees, or say 0 degrees for example, every time it got around to 0, it would trigger an event. You could get only so many out of that with a 60 RPM rotation. If you then put in another event controller and set that to trigger at 180, you can get 2 triggers per rotation of the rotor. So you can essentially double up the amount of actions you get with a spinning rotor. Because I used to use the precise timers script for getting things to trigger at less than 1 second, and that's not possible with a timer, because the timer's minimum trigger value is 1 second. But if you do it with, like I said, with that rotor and some event controllers, you can essentially counter rotor speed up to as many event controllers as you can be bothered plugging into the system. It's another thing I need to do a tutorial on. I cover it a lot in if you watch any of my more recent build streams, like Apex Max Survival, I'm always building robots in that in real time, and more than once I've gone through my sort of current way of doing building controls for robots and using event controllers to count rotor rotations. In fact, the last couple of Apex streams I've been doing have all focused on building a biped mech, so that's probably your best bet, is to go there for now and watch how I do it in those last few streams. Oh, bollocks, because that... Oh, you're not undoing the action that I've just done. Whatever. Yeah, because that mech that I'm building, the biped I'm building in Apex Max Survival, is pretty much the most up-to-date way that I do the building controls. That goes there, that goes there, that's... Why is that like that? Oh yeah, because that wants to be a window, that's why. Get some white paint, put a window there, put a window there, that wants to come out, that's empty, that's empty. That gets a window, and we're going to put a full wall section in that gap. That's the one. That's not one. That's the one. There we go. Right, that can live there. That cannot live there. That's the wrong place. There we go. And there we go. And then we need an ungodly amount of silicon to do the windows up. Which I don't have, and I need to go and find another silicon resource somewhere, annoyingly. We've got nickel in there. I need iron. That's what I need.
Inventory full.
Thank you. Right, we'll get those bits of the roof welded up. Oh yeah, because I also need a whole buttload of silicon to do the windows up in that control tower. That was taking up an awful lot of silicon for all that glass. But yeah, Roboman, if you want to learn more about building robots in SE1, I will be streaming more of Apex Mech Survival on Sunday evening, about the same time as I'm streaming now. And I'm literally building a biped with digitigrade double knee legs in that series at the moment. So you'll yeah, if you come and check that out on Sunday evening, you'll be able to see exactly how I'm doing that kind of robot building at the moment. Because it's a process I've kind of been slowly developing and evolving over the years of playing this game. Like I said, every time I settle into a way of doing it, Keen will update some parts of the game that make it even easier. Like, I use lots of AI blocks these days to make my robots walk around on their own, and also to help them stay balanced without having to constantly worry about my robot tipping over. That is not what I wanted. Iron, please. Thank you. But yeah, I will be doing lots of robot building on Sunday again, because I was in the middle of building a kind of mech suit robot that I can go exploring the planet with. I put the warp controls into it, I put the balance controls into it, and I think I just sort of finished giving it some flight controls so it can fly around as well as walk. I think the next stage was to try and set up a docking station for it. But yeah, I'll be going through all of that on Sunday. Yeah, it's not looking too bad in here now. Should have a decent bit of height for building a reasonably sized mech in here. Then eventually we are apparently going to get some rotors and some pistons, so I can build a little construction platform so I can raise it and lower it and move it around. You know what, we might get rid of this, because this is just a hologram from last time when I was talking about how I hope we get tiny control block. Because in theory, if we do get tiny rotors and logic blocks and things, you'd be able to make some very compact robots in this game. I'm just hoping that they'll give us those blocks eventually. And then yeah, then this one here, this is going to be for building smaller robots, maybe little drones and spiders and things. That won't be for doing big chunky tank-like stuff. Got a bit of iron left on me. So maybe plot out a few more bits. So I want to have at least a 1 block gap between that building and whatever building is going to be next door to it. Yeah, where was, just quickly, so I'm going to be knocking off this stream in about 10 minutes or so, but just quickly we can put in a few more bits. Where's that reference picture? Reference pics. Military base. That was the one that I was loosely working off. Yeah, so that's going to be like that. That's going to have a gap kind of down the side. And then there would be the beginning of another building pretty much right here. Oh, come on, there we go. Let's fill that in a little bit more. Yeah, so then from one of the reference pictures I'm roughly kind of stealing some ideas from, there would be the beginning of a building down here that's maybe where's that half window? Maybe 2 blocks wide. Window, window. And then another corner section with a door in the middle, and then some windows up here. Oh, built that door way too far out. Where's my doors gone? There we go. That's the right one. Let's get the right colour. That's white. I wanted it set like that, so it's sticking out the front rather than inside the building. Yeah, and then that could be that, and then we would have a little bit of a higher ceiling on it. Yeah, that can be the building next door. Then we'll have another layer on top of that eventually. How far back is this going to go? 1, 2, 3. We'll just do 3 for now. And then possibly that is the back of that building. I don't need it to be huge because I'm not even sure what I'm going to use it for. Oh, that's in the wrong place. Oh, great. Typical. Where's the one I need? There it is. Yeah. The energy's always low. Let me get the last few bits onto there. Cool. Maybe. Might be a bit tall. Then again, it's about the same size as the roof I've done this building, and that's fairly reasonable. Yeah, I might go with that. Right, let's recharge a little bit. Right. That is that recharged. Okay, well we've made a decent little bit of survival progress, considering what survival is in SE2 at the moment. Not doing too bad. So I've got the basics of my 2 workshops for building small and medium size. Nope. Nope. Are we reconnected again? Are we finally back again? There we go. Right, we are back again. Okay. Sorry about that. Internet had a wobble for a second, like it likes to. Right, I'll carry on what I was saying. I'm not quite sure where that cut out. So, we have more or less finished off, bar a few little details on the sides and a few windows. We've more or less finished off the small and medium workshops for building robots with. They are pretty much ready and waiting for the mechanical blocks that I hope are going to appear relatively soon. It would be nice. Then we are going to eventually start building some production facilities around here. Now I need a Jaeger workshop. Hey, Joshua. Gawain. Yeah, my plan for a bigger workshop was I actually wanted to build something underground, with hopefully some kind of big door that sticks out from somewhere, and a big lift mechanism to bring it out, for doing giant robots, at least. Then again, I can make an above ground one as well. Again, it's all kind of conjecture until we get more blocks to play with and see how they work. But yeah, I've made some decent progress on that. I can't wait to get a few more blocks to detail it with. I can't wait for the resource to get a bit balanced, because this floor is going to take a lot of iron to weld up. But yeah, I am pretty much going to wrap this stream up here for now. But where's my spectator camera? There it is. I'm pretty much going to wrap this stream up here for now. Because I need to go and find a whole bunch of other resources for things to continue with it. But I am going to have a little break now for about half an hour. And I'll be back at some point between 9:30 and 10 to stream a bit more Elite Dangerous, because I'm enjoying playing that game, and I'm currently trying to engineer a new ship and my new suit and weapons. So yeah, I'll be back in a bit to do a bit of Elite. But yeah, thank you to everyone that has watched and everyone that has chatted in this Space Engineers 2 stream. I'll be back for more Space Engineers 2 next Wednesday at the same time. I'll be doing some Space Engineers 1 on Sunday evening. And probably fitting in a regular Elite Dangerous thing on Mondays and potentially Fridays, but I'm going to do a bit more Elite Dangerous this evening just because I feel like it. So yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for chatting, and hopefully we'll be able to build some robots in Space Engineers 2 soon. So, cheers guys, and goodbye for now.